Rita Dove's poem Parsley begins with images that seem bright and peaceful. But the poem quickly makes their meaning uncertain. A green parrot imitates spring inside a palace, while sugar cane rises from the swamp outside. The color green links the bird, the plant, and the landscape, yet the repeated images also suggest fear and haunting. From its opening, the poem shows that a beautiful word can carry more than its dictionary meaning. It can hold memory, authority, cultural identity, and a painful history that is hidden beneath an attractive surface. In the opening section, the sugar cane is not simply part of the landscape. It appears from the swamp, seems to haunt the people, and returns again and again through the poem's repetition. The cane is green and alive, but it is also connected to rain, cutting, dreams, and fear. The parrot's imitation of spring creates a strange contrast. One image sounds cheerful and natural, while the other feels threatening. By placing them together, the poem turns the cane fields into a symbol of a history that remains present. Beauty does not remove the danger. Instead, it makes the hidden tension more difficult to ignore. Inside the palace, the general chooses the word parsley. His choice seems ordinary at first, but the poem reveals that the word is connected to memory and authority. It brings back the season when his mother died, the walking cane he planted at her grave, and the flowers that later appeared there. At the same time, the parrot practices the sound of spring in its cage. The palace therefore becomes both beautiful and unsettling. It contains delicate flowers, bright feathers, and expensive surroundings. But it also contains a ruler who is thinking about whom he can kill. The word's beauty stands beside the general's power. The general's memory of his mother gives parsley an emotional meaning before it becomes a weapon. He remembers her death in the fall and the walking cane he planted at her grave. When the cane grows and produces small star-shaped blossoms, an object associated with age and loss becomes connected to renewal. The memory is complicated rather than comforting. The general also remembers sweets, the palace room, and the parrot. So tenderness is surrounded by disturbing details. Through these images, the poem suggests that people may carry love and violence, grief and authority, inside the same memory. The green sprig becomes a reminder of what has been lost and what power can later destroy. The general's thoughts move from his mother to his first day in battle. He remembers boots covered with mud and urine, the shock of artillery, and a soldier who was amazed at the guns seemed to sing. The soldier's words make the machinery of war sound almost musical, but the moment ends in death. This contrast is central to the poem. Language can make a terrible event sound beautiful, just as the green color of the parsley and cane can hide a painful history. The rain-soaked fields return in the general's mind, joining the palace, the battlefield, and his mother's memory into one disturbing chain of images. The poem also focuses on the difficulty of pronouncing a particular sound. Haitian voices sing without the letter R, while the general thinks that even a parrot can roll it. This difference in pronunciation becomes much more than a language exercise. It becomes a test controlled by someone with political and military power. A sound that may seem small or ordinary is turned into a sign of belonging, judgment, and danger. By connecting voices, songs, the parrot, and the word parsley, the poem shows how language can be used to separate people. Speech carries identity, but authority can also turn speech into a tool of fear. The general remembers that men in his village wore tiny green sprigs when a son was born. In that earlier tradition, parsley represented life, family, celebration, and hope. The same beautiful image becomes horrifying when the general decides that many people will be killed for one word. The contrast exposes the corruption of power. A symbol connected to birth and community is transformed into a test that threatens lives. The poem does not allow the reader to separate the word from the decision behind it. Parsley becomes a reminder that language and symbols can be manipulated, and that beauty can be used to conceal cruelty. By the end of the poem, parsley has gathered many meanings. It is a plant, a color, a sound, a memory of the general's mother, a sign of village celebration, and a word connected to political violence. The bright green sprig cannot be viewed as innocent anymore because it carries the history of the people who are forced to respond to it. Rita Dove leaves the reader with a powerful contradiction. A beautiful word can be connected to love and new life, yet it can also become an instrument of fear and death. The poem asks us to listen carefully to language and to notice the histories that powerful people may hide inside ordinary words.